Welcome back to The Watch. You asked for it, and we are going to deliver. The Witcher Blood Origins. Oh, boy, was this an interesting one. Holy...
I have watched a lot of bad stuff. I've experienced a lot of fantasy. This might be the worst.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe even worse than Willow. Maybe even worse than Rings of Power. There were so many instances where we just were like, that's dumb. That's dumb. That makes no sense. I don't understand that. What's going on? Who is this person? Why is this happening? How is this all so easy?
The whole story. So the whole story is just like, what's happening? Who are these? What is this?
And they just throw you into it. It's just like, here you go, off in the ocean. There you go. Bye-bye. Get to it.
It is, because I'll be honest, I'm not that big of a fan of The Witcher. I'm just not. Like, the story elements is just not my cup of tea.
That's all right.
That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, I don't really feel it that much. And even I'm sitting, like, I can watch The Witcher and be like, well, relatively speaking, I can watch it and be like, this is fine.
the controversial take that season 1 is not that good.
Well, the game, for example,
The game's better.
Witcher 3, personally, it's not my favorite game, but it's not, I like the game still, though. I can still play it, story's good, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But this, what is happening? What?
I mean, if you had told me this was where we were going with, like, The Witcher season 1, I was like, oh, so that's okay.
It was so bad.
This is shocking.
Even the critics can't defend this. Even the critics can't defend this. Henry Cavill, he's like lucky he got out.
He's just sitting back going, ugh. I mean, I can't watch it anymore, but at least I'm not involved
and
in
we've
this
only
anymore.
watched episode 1. We only watched episode 1.
It's just one episode. Look, I'm more familiar with The Witcher than both of these guys. Even I was confused. There were times where they're like, Marcus, what's going on? I was like, I don't bloody know.
Who's this guy? You don't know? All right.
You want to go through your notes?
Oh, I got so many notes. I
Yeah,
got too
look
many
at
notes.
this.
Just so it helps us, like,
Yeah, stay on track.
Yeah, there's a lot here.
things in order, I'm saying.
Things in order.
We'll try.
Well,
but
for starters, I think we were all very confused at the very opening shot, which is upside down. And panned out for so long.
Yeah, it's like upside down, and it was a cool shot, but it's like if it was the right way around.
Yeah, if it was right, it would be fine.
Yeah, it's featuring.
And then it lasted like 20 seconds. I'm like,
Too
wait,
long.
did we break something? Is the camera, is our computer wrong?
Yeah. We were all like, oh, what the hell? We were all going into having a look, and we were just
like,
so confused.
Yeah, confused at stuff.
And then, like, the battle that we're seeing, it flips normally, and then it stops.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we're seeing 2 dandelions on screen. I'm sorry, Yaskir.
Someone with enough power to stop time.
Yep.
Like that.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
They brushed over that very quick.
Yeah.
And there was also a point where basically kidnaps Yaskir, and it's like, write this story for me. And there's a bunch of paper right there where she could have written it.
Could have written it down.
Here you go, my son. Just go write this story
if
for me.
If you have enough power to stop time, I think you have enough power to just go like that and make words appear on the page.
You gotta love how they also tried to say that this story that you're about to experience,
it's original.
It's apparently never heard before. They were like, oh, you're interested in like the origin of the first Witcher and the conjunction of the spheres and the elven kingdoms at war, and it's like,
that's not really that original.
That's not original, no.
I just love it. It's like, it's been done to death. Really?
Yes.
No, I guess not. I guess you're right. You
Yeah,
asked me a second
like,
time,
I haven't heard that one
changed
before.
my mind.
Like, oh, man.
But yeah, I was just so confused because time paused. He's like freaking out. He's like, oh, go back to the basics.
Yep.
Hello.
Oh, my.
Hello. And then you get this whole premise of like story, and write the story, and I am so confused as a viewer. I'm like, we were in a battle.
Yeah.
Time stopped.
Yeah.
And now this guy's writing a story because he likes himself, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just so impressive already. And that's like the first scene. But then we get to like the actual blood origin story.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then we get all the elves. So a world populated by nothing but elves. And they have kings and queens and clans. Dog clan and Raven clan. And
yeah, for some reason, Dog Clan gets a very bad rap in this show. They are apparently
They are
scum of
dogs.
the earth.
Yeah, they're dogs.
Well, let's be clear here. The king's outfit looks very, mein Führer. Like,
Yes, it's very fascistic.
yes.
Yeah, this show does not look like fantasy at all anyway.
No,
we'll get into
guy
like,
walking in
later
with a
stuff.
bloody
Yeah.
trench coat.
There were parts where you were just like, Nathan, am I watching Star Wars? Like,
Yeah.
is this? Did you trick me into watching Andor again?
Like when the Lark shows up to a random village and hands out the credits.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the hood.
No, we only accept Republic credits here. Like it's
Credits will be fine.
Yeah.
No, there won't.
Oh, this show is.
But yeah, they had this
that
whole.
was a good impression.
Thank you. But they had this, and the CGI is awful because when she starts
Oh.
telling the story, they get all these characters showing up in this like weird like Polaroid form,
Yeah, it looked
moving
terrible.
around. Oh man, this is like 90s B movie
It
grade.
looked like,
Like
it looked like the Da Vinci effect. How you can have the burn
Yeah.
effect. It looked
Like,
like
it
that.
was-
Oh,
but it
yeah.
was so much worse. Like it was bad.
Oh, we got to talk about Dog Clan member having fun
Fucking the
times with-
princess.
Oh yeah, doing that. We'll
Yeah.
get to that first. Oh,
But
Is that-
first,
is that
the Lark
early
is
on?
first, right?
the Lark is first.
Is it? I'm confused already.
The Lark
'cause-
is first because they go through
So-
all these characters.
Yeah.
And like, but this person.
This scene
the
is
best
so
character.
stupid. Like so.
oh yeah, you're right.
The
Oh,
waitress
no.
is just walking around pouring drinks, and the dude's just like, "I'm gonna rape you now." That's
Yeah.
basically it. Just like she's pouring the drinks, and then some guys just, you know what? I'm gonna rape this little girl now.
Yeah, I don't really want to. I'm going to cause a fight over it just so I can
Then
have
the
it.
Boss mum or whatever's like, you shouldn't because she's like poison, all these other
And then he
reasons. And then it's
Punches
like,
her in the head. It's like, what the
and
hell?
everyone's like, oh damn! And then no one does anything except for the Lark, who's like, oh, I'm going to show you all how awesome and bad I am. And so it's her versus like the entire room of
Oh, yeah.
people who want to
So
do bad stuff. To
there
this
is
poor girl.
something we have to mention. Like, you know more about the original works than
Yep.
me. Like
This is supposed to be a Polish fantasy.
Polish fantasy.
Yes, set in a medieval style Poland.
I think the best way to describe it is every single culture in the world you can think of smashed together.
Yep.
There is so many cultures in,
in every
this.
frame.
We had a Muslim tent. We had an Asian lady. We had we had like Scandinavia aesthetics with like a bunch of Africans around. It was like insane.
Well, where the Lark is in the first like part of the episode is Scandinavian. Those little rolling hills
Yep.
where they have the little things in the fjords. That's like Scandinavian to the max.
Even how
What-
their houses are constructed.
what the waitress lady's wearing is super Swedish or
Yeah.
whatever it is like that. And then you have just random parts of other cultures just smashed in there.
Yep.
It's to the
No
point.
care.
It's one of those things where it becomes jarring because
Yeah.
you're kind of like
Yeah.
whoa,
More so
wait,
here
what?
than
you
ever.
don't even know where you are.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and they try to have like these distinct different kingdoms and all that. They all look the same.
CGI to the max.
Yes,
And they,
that too.
I don't know
Bad
how,
CGI.
I don't know how to describe it. They all look so empty. They look like
Yeah.
voids. There's so much there, but there's nothing there. I know that
Yeah.
sounds a bit counter, but it's like that's how best way to describe it. So after doing the princess,
Oh yeah,
Dog Clan boy gets exiled.
Even
Yeah.
though the princess was the one that was really into it.
Yep,
It was
She-
her
she-
fault.
it was-
Like,
yeah,
she
she
didn't get
did it.
anything for it.
yep.
Dog
And
Clan man just was
his
dropped it.
exile is basically just like, okay, bye.
Yeah,
That's it.
see,
Like,
yeah,
But it's
doesn't-
funny because
doesn't
his
get-
like brother king or whatever. She's
His
like,
his
you're
dad.
gonna have like a really painful, low,
dishonorable life.
death. And I'm like, oh damn, this guy's gonna get like tortured in
It's
front
like-
of
it's
everyone.
like, okay, give me your axe. Bye. On
Yeah.
the horse. And, like, that's
I was
all
like-
that was. I'm like,
and it was
okay.
it meant to be like
It's
a
like-
public execution
Do you
basically,
remember
but
in,
he
like,
just exiles him.
remember in House of the Dragon, Kristen Coldfield was going to get executed? Where's that kind of stuff here?
No, he just grabs his axe and is kind of like,
Yeah, he's like,
give me
it's
axe, son, give me axe.
So
Yeah.
he gets exiled.
Yeah.
So he just rides off basically into the sunset.
Mm.
And the Lark gets thrown in jail for protecting the little girl for some reason.
Yep.
For some reason, the soldiers are like, you get punished for that.
Yeah, how dare
Don't
you?
know why. So they basically run into each other. And,
Yeah, miraculously. They know each other, and she's like, oh, Dog Clan.
What are the chances?
and they fight
They
For-
fight. Oh, yeah.
for whatever reason. Like they have a history.
Yeah.
of
Oh, by the
fighting.
way, throughout all this,
because he killed some of her people.
No, but she didn't even say that though. She said, you took my cousin's eye
Yeah.
and I promised her.
I take it back or whatever.
So she's not even dead. It's
Yeah.
just like they got into a battle. Like
and
a
then she
fight.
goes for 2 eyes.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's also another thing we should mention for later on. Dog Clan Man has a necklace that he values very greatly.
Mm.
I'll leave that hanging for there. We'll come back to that. Because there is...
So
might as well...
what happens
Should I go into it?
What?
Well, then we
We'll continue.
we're cutting back. I don't know
Yeah,
if
so
this
go, yeah, next.
cuts in before or after, but the princess then is like talking about like books and wonderful things.
Yeah,
and
Oh,
this
yeah,
and that.
she's a knowledgeable
And then her
princess
brother's
lady.
like, "We're gonna marry you off to someone else."
No,
And
she's
like,
kind of. I don't know how to describe it. Like, an idiot.
She's an airhead.
Yeah, I would describe it that way. Like they've been at war for
Like,
like
for
thousands
someone-
of years,
yeah.
and the prince walks in and she goes, "These dwarven ruins, these magic, and this and that." And the prince is like, "Okay, but you're a princess. You're gonna get married to a king, so we're gonna have
Yep.
peace." And she's like, "Oh, right, yeah, I forgot." Basically, like,
Yeah.
is that what?
And that happens at the entire episode of her being like, "Oh, my people, they love me.
Oh yeah, I
I should
forgot.
go see them."
Oh.
No. Just dumb stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, like, they mention it goes, "Oh, by the way, like, your boyfriend's banished." And she's like, "Yeah, I know." And just
she
like,
just-
Yeah, she's like, it's
fine
fine.
with it.
She's like, oh, well, it's a shame.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Spoiled brat. That's all I can say.
it really is that, what is it, that Top Gear?
And
yeah, it's like, oh no. Anyway,
yeah, basically. And there's this moment where she's like, I can help you in the journalism, and can do these things. And he's like, no, you need to get married off
Yeah.
because you're a woman. And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, there's levels of degrading on this, and the fact that the writers think, yeah, because in this society, if you're not a girl boss general who's taken over everything, then you can't do anything as a
there's
princess.
also the thing with the generals. Isn't one of them?
Oh, one of them's named Eridan. Makes me sad if that's the real Eridan. The one, I'll put picture here. Skull-wearing lunatic that is, like, really dangerous. King of a bunch of wraiths that ride a ship that crosses realms.
He reminded me of
Elrond.
Elrond. That's
Yeah,
it.
kind of.
Reminds me of Elrond.
No,
that casting.
no menace at all, eh?
Yeah.
I hope it's not that Eridan, because that'll make me sad.
So basically, after she stole Dog Boy's necklace, she uses that to escape.
Oh yeah,
which-
this is the Lark we're talking about, by
Yeah,
the
the
way.
Lark.
Yeah, we go back as well. Like, this goes back and
Yeah,
forth.
You gotta
several
understand,
times.
we're trying to
this
piece
is-
this together.
let's be clear. We're not jumping different stuff. Like the show is jumping between all these different scenes.
Yeah, and they do it with about as much subtlety as a brick to the face. They just
like,
can't do it.
Change scene.
Yeah.
So the Lark basically takes the Dog Clan guy's necklace and uses that to escape. Why he didn't use that to escape himself the whole time?
Yeah, and it
Don't
also
know,
means a
but-
lot to him. Why didn't he realize it was gone?
And not only that, he was going to use that to pay for a whorehouse.
Yeah, and
So-
he didn't realize it was there.
Yeah, he was like, and like when I've got items on me, I'm always checking to make sure I've got
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
You know, keys, wallet, phone, all the time. And this guy just stumbles in and goes, "Oh no,
I
Yeah.
need,
get laid now."
I need to pay for my winches with this.
Yeah.
And then we cut to a scene where they're in the big, tall building, and the guy's in his trench coat, and then he's like, "Sir, was it the
He looks
Persians?
very much like an SS officer.
The Persians are invading."
The
And we're like,
Prussians.
it's the Prussians.
Yeah.
Like the naming conventions in this show.
But it's
are-
not just that. Like,
They do this a lot.
maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it's
don't know, man.
there was a lot of fascist vibes.
That's why I
Basically,
said SS.
the king looked like that, and then his crest was
Yeah.
an
An eagle.
Yeah.
and their enemies are the Parisians or the
yeah.
Prussians?
Yeah.
Like,
Like it's
Well, that's the thing. They kind of
bit
go
on
a
the
little.
nose.
They're like fascistic, but also Napoleonic.
yeah, it's kind of like I don't know what's happening here. What is this?
he escapes as well.
What? Where are we?
The dog clan guy.
No, he got bailed out by his cousin.
Yeah. And then he's
Who
like,
is
"Hey, cuz, they're making a deal where the girl you just did,
Whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa.
This
I
is
feel
the
like
thing. It's like if you call attention to it, it becomes a problem. But it's like, how can you
Don't
not?
in your face.
Your eyes go, what's happening
He
here?
also, his cousin's very dark.
Yeah.
I don't know how the cousin, because like,
They're a clan, right?
Yes.
okay, the worst part, I'm going to skip to this part. The worst part in the show was when they had all the clans together, and you look at each clan,
was-
And then
you're
look-
like, they're
Who's
all
who?
the same, because they all are just
Okay,
these
all right.
melting pots of cultures
Yeah,
in all these clans.
We will get to that because it's crazy. But I want to go in order because that's a bit
like, I
later
hate
in
to
the
say
episode.
it because like,
Too much to go in.
whenever
Oh.
we talk about this, it's like you can have race and color in shows. We're not saying that's wrong at all, but you're doing it in such
In fact,
a way.
Game of Thrones did it.
like,
You need it to be realistic.
Game of
But
Thrones
this
did it.
is like the weirdest sort of mishmash of all these things that
And
you're
yeah.
going, what's happening?
You're not doing it to like be inclusive or whatever. You're doing it because it's part of your like production like policies
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
It's not actually to make the story good or to make sense.
It's at
like,
the point where it's
we
so
need to have this
distracting.
person in this shot, otherwise we're gonna get sued.
But the
or
thing is,
whatever.
I don't even understand why they didn't do it in a way that works. Like the Black Queen, I don't know if they said the name. Her bodyguards are like white people.
yeah.
Why?
And then there's a Chinese king who has black bodyguards. It's like, why are you mixing them? Like, That sounded
They want
bad.
it.
But like, why?
It wants a melting pot though.
It's what-
of these cultures.
Yeah, but it's to the point where you don't understand why. Like, why
Yeah.
is it like this?
Let's make this very clear. Medieval period, it's not that easy to travel around these great distances.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
And
The Witcher is a grounded fantasy for all of its magical stuff. Okay, teleportation. But at what point, the portal stuff is usually closed off for mages, and that's it.
yeah.
It wouldn't be for mass immigration stuff. So it just
And
doesn't make sense.
I don't like talking about it because it makes it seem like we're against it. We're not against it. It's just in
If it
this
makes
show,
sense,
it's
it could be
so
better.
right there to the point that you're like, what's happening?
You're
I am
not making
confused.
it
Well, let's
for the
make
I
it
am
story.
genuinely confused. What's happening here?
Game of Thrones universe, they did it.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
And that's the thing. Even with the race swap that they did in House of the Dragon, they still made it work because they're all like, this group of people are this. We're sticking with that,
Yeah.
and that's how it
It
was.
wasn't just one random different
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
With this, it's just everywhere. It's all mixed. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
You can't get a sense
And
of
it's-
anyone's culture.
And it's not just that. The cultures are mixed in terms of like what specific people are wearing and like what is surrounding them. It'll be different cultures in that aspect as well.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
You never know where you are because everything's just like at least in our world, realistically, if you go to New York or like somewhere else, you can tell where those places are because of the culture that's around them.
Yeah.
But in this show, it's just like a teenage girl's bedroom with just all these different sort of like ornaments or whatever
Yeah.
all around them. You don't even know where you are.
And not only that, they're all elves. There's no humans or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you're kind of confused as to like,
Even more confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything's like very foggy and hilly,
Yeah.
and so you don't know where you are in the story either, because like
Yep.
people are in one spot and then people are in another spot. Like,
no sense of
there's-
play
I lost,
at all.
I lost my spot. Where were we in the story?
So in the story, her sister comes and they talk, and then she gets shot with an arrow.
Oh,
Why?
this arrow scene. We all died. We all died of laughter. We couldn't believe what we were
they
seeing.
get the two sisters get attacked by assassins,
Yeah.
and her sister just dies straight up.
After 2 hours.
Yep.
Okay,
And that's
then-
the thing. They don't like set you up for it. It just happens. It's just
You're like, oh, there's an arrow.
yeah,
Okay,
there's
she's
the other
dead.
arrow.
She's
Oh,
dead.
Done.
And then she pulls out two knives and throws them like
But also,
100 feet away.
she gets hit by an arrow.
No, but it hits her thing. It hits her,
Yeah, but
like,
still, you would. Why does it stop her and not her sister?
because she had a thing on. She had like a
A cape.
no, it was like a scarab or something there. There was something in the back. I saw
Either
it.
way, and as she like you said, she takes off the cape and then runs in the opposite direction.
Takes
saying-
off the protection.
Yeah, it was like,
Oh.
And
where
then-
are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
And then everybody just walks out with little knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all fight.
Like, okay,
And then conveniently, Dog Clan Man shows up as well.
yeah.
and help saves the day.
Yeah.
And then they realize that there's a coup happening against all their clans.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she goes, I gotta go warn my clan. He goes, me too. And she goes, F your clan.
Yeah, screw Dog Clan.
And I'm like, okay, I want to like her. Is she? Because she's the main character of the story.
It's that-
yeah.
I don't even know who the
No,
main story is.
with the way that they're like at the
Yeah.
start when they're presenting all the characters, and they're like, and she's the most important one. You're gonna like her. She's gonna be good. And yeah,
She's not terrible. It's just
I think she's pretty
the
terrible.
context of the entire story. Like, who's the first Witcher here?
Okay,
Yeah.
Nathan,
That's
you
where I
got
want to get to the story. Like, who's
Nathan,
the
you gotta
first Witcher
understand
exactly?
when we say terrible, we've got references to Willow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so our scale for what's terrible is a
You
bit.
have
Compared to,
reviewed Willow
compared
today.
to like all the Willow characters,
Oh,
she's
wow.
fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
Well, she's
And
fine.
compared to what I would expect from a Witcher show, ignoring what has been done in the past already, what I would expect from a Witcher show, terrible. The singing and the songs as well.
Oh.
So the princess is the one who orchestrated the entire coup.
Actually, she's a puppet.
She's a puppet, but she thinks
But she
she's
contributes to
She
it.
thinks she organized
Such
it,
an
and this is
airhead.
just out of the blue. Like, there's no setup for this, no nothing. Just ran it. Just
Yeah.
this man.
Oh, he's gone. I don't think we're getting him back. Are we?
No, I think we're just left with the two of
Oh.
us now. So basically,
Back to the coup.
the coup, but she thinks she orchestrated the coup.
Yeah,
Like, this is how
yeah,
much
she does.
of an airhead that she is. She's like,
Such
oh,
an idiot.
I did it. And like, the shocking thing for me, right, is that as viewers, we can tell because people are leaving. We're like, oh, something's going to go down. And then she leaves, and you think,
Well, the thing that got me is she leaves. No one says anything.
Yeah.
The princess is leaving
Oh.
right now during the most important peace negotiation
what was
of
the
our time.
comment? I heard a comment of being like, everyone's leaving. This is the most unimportant meeting ever. Like, you know, you have all of these tribes or like civilizations come together, and people are just walking in and out like it's just like a public toilet space, basically. Like they're just like,
Which is not how that works at all.
No.
You are in there for a while.
and the queen's just like, or the princess is like, I have a tummy ache, I need to go. It's like, oh, okay, princess, let's go.
Yeah, she's just like, all right, fine, I'm off. And it was,
Obviously, as viewers, we all know something's going to go down. We understand that. But at this point, I didn't know whether, like, she was serious. It was like, actually, I have a tummy ache. I need to go.
Yeah.
But then you find out that she was part of orchestrating the coup of it all.
that's right. She is a willing participant.
A willing participant with a few... Like, doesn't she kill her brother?
She kills someone.
Like, there's the king of that...
She watches him die.
Yeah.
I know that much.
Yeah, so
it
I
doesn't
don't-
say anything.
There hasn't been enough established for me to understand what their relationship is. Obviously, they're related because they're both royalty.
Yeah.
But the younger brother has overthrown him, not really because the queen's now in charge. But the thing that buffets me the most, right, with this, right, they don't give any pretext to any of this.
No.
There's no discussion between the princess and the other, like,
no
prince,
setup,
I guess.
no subtlety,
Nothing.
no
Just-
subtext. Just it happens. Here it is.
It happened. It was the most rushed, and it wasn't that, like, we have so much garbage in this episode, so much focus on the...
Yep.
Is it the Lark that we're calling her?
Yeah, let's just
It's
call her Lark. I know
Lark.
she's got a name, but I don't care.
Also, I think Lark feels like a slow word to me. You Lark.
Kinda.
Doesn't sound like a very nice word, even though basically it's a bard, apparently.
That's the thing. Again, never heard that term in anything Witcher that I've experienced.
Yeah.
I just I don't know where that comes from.
Me neither. It's very confusing. But again, you could have rearranged things, I think, a little bit so I actually understood, oh, she's a part of this. This isn't just a coincidence that
Yeah.
she's helping overthrow everyone. And
Well, there's certainly ways, but then again, Nathan, I must inform you that season 1
Yeah.
of The Witcher was out of order, and they didn't tell you anything.
yeah.
So I shouldn't be too surprised that nothing makes sense,
I
and they
forgot about
can't
that.
order things properly.
I forgot. I actually started watching The Witcher, but I stopped watching. One, because too many breasts for this man of God. I'm sorry.
He's a good religious
I'm
boy.
a good religious boy. I'm a good scout. But also, secondly, I was watching stuff and I was really confused about the order of things. I
Yeah.
was like, what is going on here? This is so disjointed. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's dragging plot. Look, season 1 of Witcher, it ain't that good.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill's good. Everything else, though.
I mean, I'm surprised he even went on to a season 2. Like,
Well, no, I didn't.
was it contract? Maybe it was. Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways, back to this.
Back to Blood Origin.
Dumpster fire. And so basically she now thinks that she's the queen. Everyone loves her. Like, she's such an airhead.
Yeah, she's
For someone who's meant to be book smart, like, she's an absolute idiot.
someone who's apparently read all the histories and all
Yeah,
of that.
she's like,
yeah.
it
okay,
repeats
yeah.
over and over. Okay.
So you didn't see this one coming where a coup happened and everyone's dead and there's just like one
And you're just
empress
being a tool.
and you're a puppet?
Yeah, like,
What, you didn't see that one coming? You really?
no, it wasn't any of my books. You see, I was fixing my little universe dial.
Oh, right, that's right. I forget.
Oh.
This story has never happened before.
Yeah, never happened. Not with The Witcher.
No, not in this universe. Not when coups are pretty... Happen a fair bit.
Yeah, anyway, then we cut to this town, city, whatever. It's called Gala. Do you remember Gala?
Yeah, I remember Gala.
Gala? I wonder if that's an actual... Oh, wait, here's the thing. Part of me wants to, like, hold back my judgment because I don't know about Witcher, like, whether or not Gala's an actual town in The Witcher.
I haven't stumbled upon
You
it.
haven't stumbled upon it. And so part of me is, like, holding back
What
my
the-
critical dagger of, like, this is not canon.
Well, the thing that's getting me is I'm used to Witcher with all of these like Slavic, Polish type names.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's cool about it. That whole universe.
Yeah.
You have these really authentic, that language influencing why things are named the way they are.
Yeah.
It's just not here
Yeah.
in this show at all. It's just I think Tyrant said it best. It's a mess of everything. Everything's just been crammed into here. And it's like, yeah, take a bit of this, take a bit of that.
Just a melting
like
pot.
Gala sounds...
Sorry, I said Gala, it's Galeth. Galeth.
I was going to say Gala actually might sound better.
Galeth. Gala, okay. Sorry, my bad. I didn't read my notes properly.
Because Gala kind of, you go a little bit further and you get Gaelic. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so what? Ancient French? Is that where you kind of go? All right, something. But no, it's just Galef.
And I have to admit, I wrote something the Tyrant said here was that they've got their own Chinatown.
There's an area where it's just like, oh, yep, that's a Chinatown. Like,
I blocked that from my mind.
but like,
You're right. It
there's a
is there.
Chinatown.
Yeah, because that's how that works now. Because medieval world, it's exactly like that.
And I'm so confused with how timing. This is like Rings of Power level of somehow they managed to cross an ocean in 3 days to get to the like Southlands. Like so the dog clan guy got banished yesterday for doing the princess.
Oh,
and
he's
then,
had a very eventful day.
and then he gets imprisoned, gets let out, and then somehow Messenger comes to him within that same day, be like, actually, come back because she's going to get married.
Yeah.
And we need help and yada, yada, yada. And he's like, nah, stuff that.
Yep.
At nighttime, everyone dies. Next morning, new queen. And then
we got to discuss this because this was insane. For
all
all
the
of us.
flags are up. Everyone's searching for them.
They
Like,
just have this new Golden Empire flags, and the guards are all
in
like
this
got it
random
everywhere,
town, somehow.
just randomly. Okay, it's not that easy, writers, to print that many flags and to create that many. You can't just do that. Not in a single day.
It wasn't even a single day.
It might have even been
The
hours.
morning of. The morning
Oh
of.
my word! What were they thinking?
I mean, I guess if they were really cunning and preparing, they're like, okay,
Let's do it beforehand.
Like maybe. But that's just headcanon to explain just little plot holes like this that break the
The thing
immersion.
is, though, this is a world empire.
Yeah.
So someone would have stumbled upon that little idea.
And you've had tailors and stuff who are making this like new flag, and you're like,
Yep.
huh,
Where's that
what's
flag
this
from?
for? And
Yeah.
the army's asking for it. The generals are wanting this. This is a new flag. This is a different sigil from the ones we usually make. I wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
Nah,
No.
completely disregarded.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's whatever. Fine.
The Lark,
Yep.
they're talking to the dog clan guy, and she's like, oh, the princess is evil. She's overthrown everyone.
Oh yeah, she jumps very quickly to that. Like, to be fair, the princess does contribute to a lot of the evil.
Yeah. And then the guy,
we'll get to the princess and her
The dog clan
motivations
fella.
on stuff
dog
later.
clan guy's like, no, she would never do this. She would never do this.
It's like,
I mean-
how do you know that though? What, just because you had sex with her one time, you think, oh yeah, she's just this perfect, nice person?
Yeah. Anyway, the
I
Lark
think
says,
he's a little biased. Just putting it out there.
you're making excuses for her. Okay, but my other question is, how can she do this herself? If you know this woman,
Oh, you're right.
if you know this woman, how can she do this herself?
You're
like,
right.
The,
Your luck doesn't even consider the
what?
fact that
like he could just be like, actually, she's an absolute airhead. She would never be able to do this. Like, I know her. She's an absolute just bookworm. Somehow still dumb. Like that's the most offensive thing to this. Like when we first like saw her, we're like, oh, she's the book girl stereotype.
Yeah.
But then they're being really offensive to book girl like stereotypes, who I think are at least intellectually smart.
a little bit more.
Might not be street smart, but usually they like understand. So like they're well read.
Yeah.
Right. She's not. This girl just is the most stupid.
It's that
woman.
It's that classic example of we have this trait that makes this character unique. They're not going to behave anything like that trait at all.
Yeah, exactly. No.
They're not going to use that at all because it's not. It gets in the way of the story they want to tell. That's always the case with this sort of thing, and it's just such a silly mess.
And then we cut to the queen.
Queen, or we're talking about the airhead, right?
The airhead queen.
Oh, is this where she's like in front of the crowd and soaking it up?
So this was that already happened.
Okay, because
We were going to talk about that one.
we should pretty much. I just want to throw up an image of her raising her arms, and
You think, oh, what's she gonna do? Cool dress. Just
Yeah.
like draped. Over
yeah, and she's
arms.
pretty much like, oh, I want to go down and see my people, and
And then the guys
they're
are like, no.
and then that's it.
And the funny thing is, right? There's like basically an open ledge in front of her.
Oh yeah,
And they're like, they won't let her leave either side, but they'll leave the open ledge open for her just to like jump off if she wanted
yeah. If she
to.
realized she was a puppet and
Like-
she couldn't live with that, and
But
maybe
no, yeah.
grew a conscience.
It's just funny things like that. Anyways, when we cut back to her,
Later
she's
on,
talking about how her brother
her motivations.
and doing conquest for the sake of conquest.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do
apparent-
that. I'm going to do it to like. What was the reason why?
to bring science,
Oh, yeah, science and art
and culture to
to
these
other people.
And we were like, what? I'm gonna have to censor it. What the f are you doing? We were like, you want the same thing as the people that are using you as a puppet, but you...
The only difference is when you give them science and art.
Yeah, it's the same thing, you absolute retard. How are you so stupid? Oh, I don't want to conquer just for conquest's sake. Here's the thing. Rarely do conquests happen just for the sake of conquest. Usually there's an agenda behind it. And I'm sure the people like Eridan, all of them have a reason for wanting to be conquerors and have a world empire. Gee, it could be money, it could be
Power,
could be a lot of different things. But no, she wants to conquer because bring art and science and all that. She's not power hungry at all. Okay, she's just an innocent victim in all this. Which
and it's so many. I could go on with stuff, but I feel like we need to move on to more dumb things because it just gets dumber.
I have a feeling that character is gonna get worse.
Oh yeah, I think all of them basically are going to get worse the more this show goes on.
The thing is, though, she might be the one that will piss me off the most, just because she's in a rulership position.
Yeah,
and she's
going to make dumb decisions, and I reckon despite her dumb decisions, things are going to work out in a very different way to how you would expect them to work out. But anyways, and then when they're in the like pub or whatever, the Lark and the other, like when the guards come through,
it's like that.
And suddenly they have pictures of them and they're looking for them.
Oh yeah, this was really annoying because for some reason they just happen to they figure we got to hide our faces. This is a medieval context. Your face is not going to be well known. You don't have to do that. But then all of a sudden they come with these very well drawn pictures of them, and I'm just thinking, how? How did you get those pictures?
Yeah.
Where'd you take them from? Did you take them off a painting? Did you take them off like a... Oh, what are they called? There was like markings that gladiators used to have of themselves, but even those weren't as well done.
Yeah.
They just carry it like, oh yeah, this is a photograph. This is exactly who we're looking for. As if photography ID is a thing. It's not a thing.
The annoying thing with this as well, right? Again, this is the second day that the Dog Clan guy has been banished.
Oh.
And they're like, you have been banished. You will have shame on this family and we'll never see you again. A day later, where is he? Where is he? We're going to stop him. They are enemies against the kingdom. It's like, what the? And this like other chick's just been playing guitar for like a year across the land. She has no like...
There's more stupid things now coming into my brain.
Yeah.
What are the odds that he was banished the day before the coup happened?
That's what I'm saying.
What are the odds?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened because
that is convenient beyond belief.
And then that night they have the coup happens, and the next morning then they like leave and they're like, oh no,
so
we've been overthrown.
And I'm trying to figure this all out. It's such a mess. It is an insane mess because there was also the whole idea of, why are you so concerned about these two people, this Raven Clan girl and this Dog Clan guy? Why are they such a big... You have massive armies now. Why are they the main focus? What are they going to do? They can't topple your empire. That's not how that works. But then again, I feel like they're setting up that they'll topple this empire.
Yeah, somehow. Because you've never seen this... I mean, at this rate, I think they're right. I don't think we've ever seen a story like this before.
You know what?
Not like this. If you catch my drift.
This is well, man, 2022 was the year of really terrible fantasy.
And it continues. I think we're going to get more with Wheel of Time Season 2.
Wow.
Anyways, so they both leave, and then they go to find the Swordmaster.
Oh, yes.
And the way in which the origin of the Swordmaster for this lady like group basically was like, we found her lost and alone, and so we took her in and she became the Swordmaster.
Oh yeah, we have
so many questions here. Like, did they just find this like homeless lady and is like, we need a Swordmaster for our clan, join us and become the Swordmaster even though you never picked up a sword before in your life? Like the way that she presents these stories, it's put in a way that I'm just like, I need more context and understanding because there's no... background to, like she joined a clan. We realized she was very good with the sword, and so she became the sword master. Sure, you could be like, hey, if she's the sword master, she must be good. But with the way that she presents it to this dog clan guy, it just feels like she's like, oh, we had an opening, and so she filled that role. That's how it felt.
That's context is the enemy of these writers, clearly.
Yeah.
They just had a bunch of events they want to have happen and made them happen. Doesn't matter if they make sense or not.
So my notes get slimmer in this area because we're reaching the end. Lots of dumb things happen, but I've got 4 things left.
Most of the time we were just laughing.
We were just laughing and pausing and being like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you actually kidding? And I mean, I guess if this is a comedy, they are kidding, but they're not, because there's this what would you call it? Montage of them traveling for a bit, and they're on these horses, and then cut, and there's no horses. You on horses and free to go, and now you're not. What happened to the horses? Did you forget your horses somewhere?
That's exactly how it happened.
Did they die? Did you just ride your horses so long that they died? And then you're like, all right, it's going to walk now.
Did they just get lost? I mean, did you just not tie them up properly? Or
I don't know, but it's things like that.
Like you're just going for a nice stroll and that. Oh, it's so bad. Because it makes me wonder what the budget is for this. It's like, were they only able to afford the horses for like a day, and then it was like, oh, okay, that's it, no more, we can't do it.
But you'd think if that was the case, right? If I was the director, I'd be like, all right, we need to get a pickup frame of them like tying the horses and losing them, or being like, we have to go further without them. Like, I've seen directors who know what they're doing on the day be like, or even just from. That's the thing with directors, right? You know, a good director, when they see a scene and they know what became before and after it.
Yeah.
And so they can pick up context with things like that. I've seen this in one of the Corridor Crew videos. Are talking about how they did a VFX shot for this like horror short, and the directors were like, you missed a thing. They left out a piece of something, or there was like a blood splatter or what, like a blood splatter, right?
Yeah.
Small details like this,
Yeah.
whereas like you need changes in your VFX shot because in the last cut it was positioned differently. Okay. Obviously, these directors are unaware of that because they cut from having horses to not having horses.
Yeah, it really is.
In 2 different scenes. Like, it shows a lack of care, how rushed things were, and just it breaks the viewership because you're just like, you're watching and all the viewers are
It's
just
so
like,
jarring.
all right, I don't, you want to make good media. You want me to stay watching Netflix?
Yeah.
Do a better job at making, these productions worthwhile. 'Cause
Yeah, and here's the thing.
this one is not.
I could forgive like some cheapness
Yeah.
if the story was good and the characters were good. The problem is you don't have that here. You don't have Henry Cavill pulling you through.
No.
You've got Lark and Dog Clan Man.
Yeah.
And then later on you get Michelle Yeoh, which is
Makes
very
me sad. Yeah.
She was starting to make good decisions with her career, with everything, everywhere, all at once, and now we're right back to her making really poor decisions.
Maybe she just needed the paycheck
I
for a
suppose.
mansion or whatever. She's like, you know what? I want a new Bugatti. I get Netflix will pay for that.
Yeah.
But it puts a stain on your career, unfortunately.
Yeah, because you're forever associated with this turd.
Yeah. Anyways, then they meet her, they talk, and they're like, we're gonna go here.
And they're in a tent that is very strange. It does not look Asiatic at all.
Also, I don't know why you would put up because they're in this empty landscape.
Yeah, and the
There's
tent's
kind of-
just there.
Were there grassy hills in this one, or am I
No,
thinking of the other scene?
It
Was
looks
just
like a beach and like
barren landscape,
Yeah.
basically.
stony beach, something like that.
How are you living? How?
Yeah, do you hunt? Do you eat?
Also, it's just a tent, right? She doesn't have any like
Not
cattle or horse or anything. Like, how did you get here at this tent, and how are you surviving?
Yeah, no, not acting like a Mongolian nomad at all.
Yeah,
because they would have like a bunch of stuff. But no, she's just
in
on
this
her own.
red tent that looks out of place. Anyway, the ladies talk for a bit, and I feel it so distinctly in this show. What's that thing called again? We did it on the video, like when 2 girls have to talk to
the
each other.
Bechdel,
test. Okay,
Yeah, that thing
this
was-
show is trying so hard to pass the Bechdel test in every scene.
Yep.
Because every time there's 2 women on screen, they will chit and chat, and the guy will
For
chime
a
in,
while.
and they'll kind of look at him, and then they'll just keep talking themselves.
Yep.
And they always degrade him. That none of them are ever on his side.
Oh yeah. I mean,
They're always like, "You're a dog. You're part of Dog Clan.
Yeah.
We hate you." It's like,
It happens so much. It's like, how about you tell us one of the evil things Dog Clan did?
yeah.
How about you give us that piece
Instead
of
of just telling
information?
us, oh, we hate you, be like, well, I mean, they kind of did it with the whole, like, you took my cousin's eye or whatever.
That's something small, but
Small.
what about the whole clan aspect?
But I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
expand more on that.
Oh, yeah.
And then that would have, instead of telling, oh, you're so bad, show me.
Yep.
Show me. Or give me examples of how.
Yeah, because it feels like the show is confused. It doesn't know if it has the worlds of The Witcher, but the thing is, it doesn't have anything related to The Witcher, so it has to build its own thing. But it's behaving like it doesn't have to build its own thing.
Yeah.
It's behaving as if everyone is just going to be able to pick this all up. But we can't pick this all up because you're only giving us pieces.
Yeah.
And the pieces are just, they're like jagged. They don't connect together like a real well-crafted puzzle
No, they do not.
that, you know, would constitute a narrative. No, this is just thing here, thing here, thing here.
It's funny too, like the way that we predicted parts of this show, it's uncanny at how many times, like I think either you or Tyrant were like, all right, we're going to get a training session now. And so
Yep.
basically they're like, we're going to leave, we're going to go to this place. Dog Clan guy knows how to get there because obviously it's like his palace and whatever.
Yep.
And she's like, no, I'm not going for whatever reason. And then all of a sudden, like,
Yeah, she starts the fight.
All of us were like, all right, we're going to do like a little fight thing so she can like read them and know whether or not they're good.
Yeah, and then it happens.
That happens.
And the thing is, though, this fight scene is horrific. It is.
Because doesn't she just use like her scabbard or whatever
Yeah.
as her like defense?
Yeah, and she is somehow able to overpower this big guy.
Burly guy. Who,
Yeah, I mean, no. No. I don't buy it. I just can't.
And there was dumb things like she was like, oh, you're so sloppy, or, you're strong but you're uncoordinated, you guys would be so much better if you worked together. It's like, thank you writers for giving us that context because we are
Thank you.
stupid viewers. That's how I felt watching that.
Me dumb, me no understand.
Yeah, what do you mean? I don't understand. The scabbard and the sword, it means that I'm cold? I didn't know that. Like, that's how I feel you're talking to me when I'm watching the show. You make me feel stupid and it offends me. I don't get offended much. But as a viewer, if you think I'm stupid and you're going to write these things out, I am offended.
These shows have to bring us down to their level. If
Yeah.
like they really want to.
Like, I'm sorry, executives, you don't understand basic fantasy and you can't carry a cohesive sentence or scene for
Yeah.
more than 30 seconds, but some of us who actually consume this content can.
Yeah. Some of us actually read those books you're trying to adapt.
Yeah, some of us understand the law or just know how story and reality works.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these
Basic
people...
cause and effect is the
Yeah.
enemy of this show.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
I mean, we're going to get there because there's more of the stupid stuff. But the fight goes on for a long time. It's very uneventful and uninteresting. Generic dialogue is spoken, and eventually it goes, oh, we're going to be a team. Let's go on an adventure and go, I guess, deal with the Empire.
And she burns her tent.
This was just like one of those moments where we all just were like, why?
Because it's cool.
You couldn't just take your tent down and, you know, use it for camps later. No, you had to torch the damn thing.
Like, again, the context of this is I'm leaving, so I'm going to burn everything I own. Also,
He's not joking.
there wasn't anything in the tent because I don't know how she was surviving. Like we said before, there wasn't any cattle, no horses, no supplies or anything.
Yeah.
What was she doing in this wasteland?
Yeah.
Just sitting in a tent.
Yeah, and she's set up to be like this great sword master of some sort. So
What were you
again,
doing?
wouldn't she be like teaching people, maybe
Yeah.
being a hired sword or
Yeah.
something like that? No, just
She's just wasting her life.
just out there in the middle of nowhere.
And then two
occasionally
randoms
beats
come
people.
up and they're like, all right, I'm going to leave with you now. Burn everything.
Yep.
Because it looks cool. That is the only thing I can think of that would be reasonable. Like,
It doesn't look cool.
Okay.
Just like it's dumb.
I can see like cinematographers be like, oh, we have a burning background. That always looks cool.
Yeah.
It has to look cool to make sense. Like, sorry.
Has to be make sense to
look
look
cool. And it doesn't make sense
No.
because in the context of this world, I would be like, whoa, what? You're lighting your tent on fire.
You know-
lady,
Yeah.
lady, you're crazy.
The coolest scene of fantasy in 2022 was Viserys walking up the stairs to a chair and sitting down.
Yeah.
That was the coolest scene.
Try that.
or one of them. And these writers will never understand how that was able to happen. They're like, wait, people love that scene? Why?
Amazing.
There's no fire in there.
Amazing film. Like if you can make that the
Something
most
mundane, yeah.
impactful and emotional, then you're good at your job. But you guys can't even make a burning tent look cool. In fact, you make it look stupid.
You can't even make a fight scene look cool.
You can't make anything look cool. Like the CGI in this show was absolutely garbage.
Oh, yeah.
The character's dialogue is trash. No one's motives make sense. And you can't... Like, I'm trying to think of anything in this show that made at least like 50% common sense to me. Nothing made sense to me.
Nah, it's...
Like why she is out playing guitar, which is actually like a crazy, assassin sword person. Why he got banished when his father for a moment was like, you're going to basically get tortured to death is what I assumed with what he was saying. But then was like, you're banished. And then he's like, no, my axe. No, Dad, please don't. Like nothing makes sense.
Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch of other weird things. Like apparently the Lark had traveled around as a bard for so long and had a song that inspired so many people.
Yeah,
then we hear the lyrics to the song. And we're just like, how?
How is this inspiring?
Yeah, and they have purposely characters that are idiotic just to get responses out of characters.
Yeah.
That's the level of writing we're always at with these damn shows. Make everyone stupid to get to what you're trying to do instead of get there with logic and talent.
Yeah.
Oh.
It just makes a very frustrating story and something that you would never watch this for entertainment.
Yeah.
Like we watch this as our jobs,
Yeah.
as critics of TV shows and movies, but I would feel my time and money wasted if I put on the show. And this is like I find my
Free time.
free time. I was going to say special time. Like that doesn't sound right. My free time is really important to me because it helps me do everything else well in my work time and my lifetime. Like if I have good free time where I can unwind and relax, then it helps me be a better person. This would make me frustrated and angry and therefore impact everything else going on in my day because I wasn't able to relax or unwind.
Yeah.
Like, I'd just be like, that show was garbage. I wasted my time and money on that. Like, what was the point?
And that's the thing. It would be doubly so if you cared about Witcher. Witcher fans are copped a massive smack in the balls.
Especially after how much the games were adapted. So, like, people love the games. And I reckon everyone's like, great adaptation of games? Okay, must be able to do it with TV shows.
Nope.
Apparently not. And I'm sorry for you all to have suffered through this. Like, this really sucks. And I hope one day, we get a good adaptation, whether it's fan-made or whether a smaller B-grade.
Well, at the moment, all we got regarding fantasy adaptations is House of the Dragon. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that we got was decent.
Yeah, and I don't think the writer's ever going to want to really be involved in anything. Like, he gives the rights to things, and he wants the money from it.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I can ever see him being on, like,
Subkowski, yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Well, go check out a certain Razor Fist video if you want more on Subkowski.
Yeah, so that was the episode.
It was a disaster.
That was the longest one, thankfully.
And we got more.
And we got a lot more. And so if you enjoyed this video, then please do, if not already, subscribed. We're going to do more of them. And not only this one, we're going to do everything else that's coming out this year, hopefully.
Yeah, and we got some doozies, like Indy 5.
So stick around for that. And like how we are, you should always stay on watch.